Ladies and gentlemen, I just got an update of information from a subscriber, and so I want to really shout out to my subscriber. But first, I'm showing you these awesome posters of Wonder Woman here. Why not? It's so good, you should see it more than once. Wonder Woman has done some spectacular things, so I just want to showcase her. But I want to shout out to a particular subscriber here who highlighted a particular thing to me, and I want to just make sure that he gets as much highlight as possible and much shine as possible. I told him that he would see my video highlight him, okay? And that subscriber is Tom Cabler. Tom Cabler, shout out to you, brother. Much love. You said, did you hear the 5 hour ago news? If it's true, it's awesome for Wonder Woman. And that 5 hour ago news is this, that IMAX said that Wonder Woman is coming back this Friday to their theaters. Of course, it stopped playing in their IMAX theaters quite a while ago. And it's coming in IMAX 3D. So for a limited time, which will be one day only, Friday, Wonder Woman will be playing in IMAX. So if you want to get your tickets for August the 25th, go into IMAX and watch Wonder Woman in 3D in IMAX again, because it's awesome like that. So that's a huge shout out there to Tom Cabler. Thank you so very much, Tom, for that. This comes from my video, Wonder Woman and the Justice League, confirmation of a new member, in which I was not very clear about something, so I will get to that right now. Which leads me to another subscriber, which is Allsportstees. And Allsportstees, I thank you for your contribution. It's actually a good contribution and it makes sense, but I want to point out something, okay? So first of all, this video wasn't very clear about confirmation of a new member, the rumors. The rumors had to do, if you were paying attention, to an article that was posted in one of the websites saying that Justice League had some information posted up on it, soundtrack information. And that soundtrack information had one of its titles, Unite the Seven, by Imagine Dragons, it was assumed. And that indicates that there are actually 7 members of the Justice League, and then there's supposed to be an extra member. Remember, we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, and we have Aquaman. That's 6 members. But this song here is alluding to 7 members, which means there's an extra member to come, and they're assuming it's going to be Green Lantern. So they're saying this is evidence here, even though it was put down and then pulled away from the soundtrack section of IMDb. And Allsportstees, I had made some arguments why I think it's false, and one of them was you should have the director of the musical score in there, all right? And he was coming with a point, which is a very valid one actually, that in formats of soundtracks, actually you can have the musical score soundtrack for the movie, and then you can have the soundtracks for the movie. So he makes a very valid point here, and he uses Batman as an example, Batman 1989. So I'm just going to go straight to Batman 1989, and you have the audio CD for Batman 1989, which has Prince on it. Okay, Prince is the only one there in Batman 1989, and he also comes with another one, which is the actual motion picture score for Batman 1989, which is done by Danny Elfman. And he basically says to me, and he kind of rebukes me in a way, which is okay. He says, shaking his head, there are 2 types of soundtracks motion picture. So you can have soundtrack and musical score. He's still shaking his head. He says, remember Batman, Elfman, and Batman by Prince? Okay, which I just showed you. So he's very, very correct. And I'm going to confirm that, but there's something else I have to show. So when we were talking about the DCEU, in the DCEU, I incorrectly answered him that they haven't done that before. But actually, in the DCU, they have done that before. Now, when it comes to Man of Steel, they didn't do that because Hans Zimmer was the principal person who did the soundtrack. The original motion picture soundtrack was the soundtrack for the film. But you can have times where you have a soundtrack and an original motion picture soundtrack. That's not the case with Batman v Superman either, where Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer did both. Okay? However, with Suicide Squad, it's different. Suicide Squad had the soundtracks with the various artists. Okay? So you have the soundtracks here, and there are a bunch of them here. 20-something of them. And to confirm his point, you have the original motion picture score or motion picture soundtrack, which was done by Stephen Price. Now, again, to Suicide Squad's credit, a lot of the soundtracks in the movie were also in the movie along with Stephen Price's soundtrack, his original motion picture score soundtrack. Okay, so he's right. With Wonder Woman, we also had that. We had, I think, 7 soundtracks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 soundtracks, which were separate from the original motion picture soundtrack by Rupert Grayson Williams, which was done separately. So he's absolutely correct that they do put the soundtracks, which would be this in this case, the Justice League soundtrack, separate to the original motion picture soundtrack when they are separate. Okay? So he has a point. But I want to point out something which makes this invalid. Not the point that he's making, but invalid that this is substantially true information. And it has to do with the format. It has to do with the format of how these title of music are credited here. Okay? So if you look here, you have the title of the song, which is Come Together. You have the writers of the song, which is Curtis Mayfield, and you have who is performing it. And this is done for each one of these songs. You can see that, right? But that is not the format you would have for a soundtrack. I will show you here. We're looking at Suicide Squad's soundtrack format, and you can see the title of the song is House of the Rising Sun. We have the arranger, which is Alan Price. We have who's performing it. But most importantly, you must acknowledge the distributors and the producers, and that is not done. So courtesy of ABKCO Music and Records Inc. and courtesy of Warner Brothers UK Limited. This is the distributor and this is the record company. And no such information is given. If you were to look here. None. So that's why I say this is very much unofficial, and I believe it's just simply a rumor. Let's look at some more here. You Don't Own Me, that's the title. It's written by Dave White and John Madera. It's performed by Leslie Gore. Oh, that's good. Courtesy of Island Records, that's the record company or producer, under the license of Universal Music Enterprises, which is the distributor. They have left that out completely from any of these. They have not had the producer or distributor in any one of these, telling me that this is not official in any capacity, and someone came and just plastered these things up, which is why IMDb pulled them down. See? So that immediately, and that doesn't only go for Suicide Squad, by the way. You can also look at Wonder Woman soundtracks. It's very much the same thing. You can see it's written by whoever, but then you have performed by whoever, and then you have the distributor here. Here again, you have the distributor. Oh, sorry, this is the producer. This is the record company. All right. This one here does not have the producer. Doesn't have the producer at all. So they're short of some information here. This one has, again, the distributor. Okay. This one here, again, does not have the record company. Ewan Bremer, by the way, is an actor. Again, Ewan Bremer is an actor here. So these two probably were done without record companies, basically. These, again, are record companies. Once you're doing something that's pretty much official or business-like, and of course Sia, a big name like Sia, again, has to be with a record company and a distribution company. Okay? So it's very important. These people here are big time. Okay? Godsmack's big time. So you have to have a record company. You have to have a distributor. White Stripes, big time. So you got to have a record company, a distributor. Okay? I don't know these people, so I can't say. Colossal, I don't. The Extremities, yes, record company, distributor. Imagine Dragons, record company, distributor. And Kendrick Lamar, absolutely. Skrillex, yes. You have the record company, distributor. So there's no way this can be considered credible. the other thing I must say is usually soundtracks for movies don't come out 2 months before a movie comes out. That didn't happen with Suicide Squad. It didn't happen with Wonder Woman. And it didn't happen with Batman v Superman, nor with Man of Steel. So that's also very strange. So the credibility of this thing, I very much don't believe this is very credible. I don't believe it. And again, I just address Allsportstees. Thanks for your contribution, Allsportstees. You actually educated me on something, and I'm thankful. And my response was not accurate to you, so I apologize on video, so you know. But again, just simple critical analysis of things tells me, no, this is not still official. This is all rumor. This is rumor mill. A lot of rumor mill people doing things. All right. On that note, I hope you guys enjoy your day. Have a great one.